Yeah. So why Pika Rebellion was in news? Of course, against the colonial rule. I mean, that is against the British. There were many revolts, and the first revolt at a larger extent was Sipai Mutiny of 1857. You know, it is called as the first war of independence. Of course, various historians are having diversified opinions with regard to the nature of the Sipai Mutiny. And V.D. Savarkar termed it as the first war of independence, which we have discussed in our routine classes. Okay. So before that only, there were many revolts to overthrow the British rule or alien rule. So in relation to that, why Pika Rebellion was in news in the last month, that is March, because all of you are strong aspirants for various competitive examinations. Yeah. So actually, Odisha government was continuously requesting to consider Pika Rebellion as the first war of independence. See, the first revolt, which is the first revolt against the British, first revolt against the British. Of course, diversified opinions and in various books, various sort of things are mentioned, and there are n number of books. Okay, take the example of Indian history, Indian cotton. There are a number of books with diversified opinions. Which is the first revolt against the British? As I am in YouTube, I am unable to scold you. Anybody? Tell me. It is not a mime show. So even seniors are unable to answer my question. It is how your preparation is going on. Sannyasi Rebellion. Sannyasi Rebellion is, see, actually Velur Mutiny is the first Sipai Mutiny against the British. But I am talking about the general revolt. It is the Sannyasi Rebellion. And even we have discussed which book mentioned about the Sannyasi Rebellion. Sannyasi Rebellion was mentioned in the book Anand Mat, written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Okay? So, most of you people are unaware of the basic facts of the Indian history. Okay, no issue. Yeah. So, this Odisha government was asking the Indian government to consider this Pika Rebellion to be, Pika Rebellion to be considered as the first war of independence. It is the reason why it is in news. So in the UPSC, you may get question related to Pika Rebellion in some or other manner. So that is the art of asking questions of the UPSC. Okay? Yes. Pika Rebellion. Recently, Center stated that the Pika Rebellion cannot be called the first war of independence. Since 2017, Odisha has urged the center to declare the Pika Rebellion as the first war of independence. At present, the Indian Mutiny or Sipai Mutiny of 1857 is called as the first war of independence against the British rule. See, it is first war of independence, but not the revolt. Just now I told you, the first revolt against the British was the Sannyasi Rebellion. And the book Anand Mat revealed about the Sannyasi Rebellion and written by the Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Okay? Yes. Now, Ministry of Culture suggested that it would be included as a case study in class 8 history textbook of National Council of Educational Research and Training, that is NCRT. Why? To pacify the people of Odisha. If not, they will think that the central government is against the aspirations of the state government, because there are different governments at Odisha and at the center. Okay? Yes. In 2018, Indian Prime Minister released the commemorative stamp and coin on Pika Rebellion. So, to pacify them, a stamp was released and a coin was also released. And you are having large number of coins and stamps which are released on various occasions. On the occasion of 150th year of celebration of the establishment of Income Tax Department, a 5 rupee coin was unveiled, and that 5 rupees coin had the portrait of which person? Yes, Chanakya. ఇక్కడ కనిపిస్తుందా మీకు దూరం కూర్చొని ఓకే Chanakya అండి. The portrait of Chanakya was on that coin. Yes, no issue, just for recollection. Now, with regard to Pika Rebellion, 1817 to 1825, whereas Sipai Mutiny is 1857. It was an armed rebellion that took place in Odisha against the British East India Company. Many tribes revolted against the British because the tribal people were alienated from their lands, especially forest lands. And tribal people were engaged to lay the roads and railway lines by the British without giving pay. And even Christian missionaries also created some sort of tension in those areas. And even British will ban many sort of traditions of these tribal people, like human sacrifice, etc. And even British will also levy various sort of taxes on the forest, and that forests are considered. The forests used to give the livelihood for these tribal people, and because of all these reasons, they started fighting against the British, and even atrocities of the English officers. Yes, it took place nearly 40 years before the first Sipai Mutiny. The Pikes were peasant militia of the Gajapati rulers of Odisha. For a long period, Odisha was ruled by these Gajapatis. And even SKD had continuous. Who is SKD? The last great Hindu ruler of India, Sri Krishnadevaraya. He had continuous conflict with the Gajapati rulers of Odisha. And who was the ruler of Orissa at the time of SKD? And SKD had fought nearly 5 battles with that ruler. Who is the? What is the name of that? Gajapati ruler. Because all of you belong to AP and Telangana, and of course that sort of questions will be asked in your state services. And even last year, you can see in the UPSC prelims, 2 questions are from the South Indian history, especially Vijayanagara Empire. Anybody? So your work is appreciable. In spite of completion of syllabus, nobody is answering. Yes, Bhagavati. Yes, Rohit. Prataparudra Gajapati. Prataparudra Gajapati. Okay? Yes. Okay, no issue. Because he is very popular king of South India. No issue. Who offered military services to the king. They owned rent-free land that had been given to them for their military service to Kingdom of Kurda. The British established themselves in Odisha when the English East India Company dethroned the king of Kurda, Raja Mukunda Deva, in 1803. The Paikas under the Bakshi Jagabandhu Vidyadhar. So you may get this question in the match the following. Various rebellions are having their own leaders. So you may encounter the question in the form of match the following. Rebellion and the leader. The Paikas under Bakshi Jagabandhu Vidyadhar, the hereditary chief of the militia army of the Gajapati king, rose in rebellion, taking support of tribals and other section of society. Just now I told you, all the time tribals were against the British because the rights of tribal people were deprived. They attacked British symbols of power, setting ablaze police stations, administrative offices, and the treasury during their march towards Kurda, from where the British fled. Of course, in course of time, so British will suppress this kind of revolts. Earlier, they faced defeat, but in course of time, they will hatch a conspiracy and just they will divide the tribal leaders and or the Indian kings, and they will suppress the revolt. They were supported by the jamindars, village headmans, and ordinary peasants. The uprising spread like a wildfire across the state, resulting in several confrontations. Conflicts. Confrontations mean conflicts and encounters between the British and the Pika forces. The revolt was eventually overpowered by the British army because British army used the sophisticated weapons, whereas these tribal people or our indigenous people used bows and arrows, very hardly spears. Okay, Vidyadhar was imprisoned in 1825 and died in jail in 1829. Causes of Pika Rebellion. So many rebellions. The main reason is the British policies. Land revenue system. The advent of the British and establishment of colonial rule brought new land revenue settlements, which led to the Pikas losing their estates. See, as soon as English East India Company established their rule in India, they have made experiments by implementing various types of land revenue systems like Ijaradari system, Istamarari Bandobas, or Raitwari system, and even Mahalwari system, etc. Even locally, they had various types of taxes. Okay, yeah. Now, which led to the Pikas losing their land, that is estate. British exploitative policies to extort more and more money or resources from the Indians. With the removal of the king of Kurda, exploitative policies of the British administration became increasingly intolerable for the people of Odisha. More and more taxation, how we will survive? If petrol becomes 200 rupees, how we will survive? Now it is almost all 120. The continuous interference in the economy and revenue systems led to exploitation and oppression of the peasants and farmers, eventually triggering a rebellion against the British. New currency system. The British changed the currency system from kauri to rupee. So kauri they are the shells, and kauri means shells. So now British introduced the rupee. They faced a lot of problem in circulation. The villagers faced a lot of problem in handling the new currency, and they were grossly exploited by the local Mahajans. And in the economics, I told what is the main duty of these Mahajans. In the economy, I told you in the earlier classes. Mahajan, while I was dealing with the evolution of banking system in India. Of course, 90% are new students, and more than 90, maybe one or two or three members are old people, or not old in the sense they have joined in the earlier days. See, lenders, margins are the lenders, and they used to run the banking system. I told a unique system called as the Hundi system. Hundi system. Okay? Yes. Even today also, this community is involved in the money lending. Okay? And I don't know what sort of things you people are studying. Then British salt policy. The long sea coast of Odisha produced a huge quantity of salt which was used by the people of this land. However, the British authority deprived the jamindars and the local people of coastal region of their traditional rights to manufacture salt. They have monopolized the salt manufacture. British has monopolized the salt manufacture. It is the reason why opposing this, Mahatma Gandhi will start a satyagraha, famously called as salt satyagraha. It is a item or program in course of the which moment? In course of which moment? Student, I mean. Civil disobedient movement and even Mahatma Gandhi movements, if you are getting confused, means what you will write in the examination. Okay? Yes, of course, no issue, Andy. Because, of course, maybe other students may be more dull than you. Then you will have the opportunity to crack the examination. Yes. Consequences of Pika Rebellion. Of course, so there will be some sort of conciliation, that's all. Administrative changes. Odisha people were employed in the government services and entrusted with responsible work. This facilitated the local people to come closer to the British authority through these employees. Actually, many section of people coming closer to British had a lot of implications on this kind of revolts. Take the example of Justice Party or South Indian Liberation Front. Just before Justice Party. It is a non-Brahmin movement. And why it emerged? Because they came closer to the British. Automatically, they thought that they are more in number, whereas Brahmins are few in number, and these Brahmins are depriving the rights of these lower class people. Okay. Now take the example of Ambedkar. Ambedkar's father was working with the British. He got an opportunity to study. Of course, we will discuss that in our routine classes. And reduction in salt prices. Afterwards, after this rebellion, they will reduce the price of salt. The price of the salt was reduced and more salt was made available for the smooth purchase of the people. See, we cannot survive without salt. Whatever may be the case, either vegetarian or non-vegetarian, whatever may be the case. Without salt, you cannot survive. It is, as that item was very important, Gandhi has chosen salt law to be breaked. And in course of Dandi March, he will reach up to Dandi and he will break the salt law. And which was the starting point of salt satyagraha? Dandi March. Dandi March. Starting point of salt satyagraha. From Sabarmati Ashram. Okay? Okay, no issue, Andy. Okay? Yes. Okay. So you can deal this issue even for prelims and also mains. Now, the Pikas were forced to leave the profession of militiamen of the king and to adopt cultivation and other works as means to earn their livelihood. Of course, king itself has lost his power. And what is the use of military? Because that kingdom was subjugated by the British. Kurda. Management of the Jagannath temple of Puri. This is very, very important. When Raja Mukunda Deva II died in 1817, his son Ramchandra Deva III was allowed to move to Puri. He was allowed an annual pension and to take over the charge of the management of the Jagannath temple of Puri. By this arrangement, the British government won the mind and sentiment of the people of Odisha. And even today also, this temple is very famous. And you know, the Jagannath Rath Yatra is celebrated with great pomp and show, which we have already discussed in our culture classes. And in the last, current affairs classes, we have discussed about the Konark temple. Why it was in news, Madam Himabindu? So in last current affairs classes, we have discussed about the Konark temple. Why we have discussed that temple? What was the reason behind that? Anybody from online? Yeah, it is how you people are recollecting the issues. And solar, the total temple is converted into a solar powerhouse. So now they are using only solar power. Okay, we have discussed. Just you go through the old videos, and these are very useful for your prelims, mains, even communication skills, sentence formation, everything. Okay. Of course, you people will have a lot of work to do. Then now we'll have time to recollect this. Okay, no issue. And now, even in the Bombay state, because earlier, so before 1956, we are not having the Maharashtra. We were having the Bombay state, and before independence, we are having the Bombay province. Even in Bombay province also, there was a such kind of revolt led by which group of people, Himabindu? Led by which group of people or which section of people, which class of people, even in the Bombay? Anybody? Most seniors and UPSC aspirants, don't remain long life as aspirants, remain as achievers. Bhagavati, Rohit, I don't know who among you are seniors. Okay, no issue. And because you people are studying more and more, it seems, beyond your brain limit. It might be the reason you are forgetting everything. Okay? Rameses, yes, Bhagavati, Rameses Rebellion. Same causes, almost all same causes. Rameses. Okay? And who were the leaders of this Rameses Rebellion? Okay? Nobody from this side. Yeah, Bhagavati correct. Chittor Singh, followed by Umiyaji, followed by Vasudev Balwantrao Phadke. Okay, we have discussed elaborately. Okay? Yes, yes. At least 1 or 2% are able to answer the questions. Okay, no issue. And okay, a small topic. Why green triangle was in news in recent days? Why green triangle was in news? Anybody? Or green triangle is related to which great freedom fighter of India? Tushindiga. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a city in Madagascar, in a city at Madagascar, a plaque was released with the name of Green Triangle honoring Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. Green Triangle named after Mahatma Gandhi, inaugurated in Madagascar's capital as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Actually, what is meant by Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav? Madam Himabindu.